This came as an utter shock to me as I was progressing up the competition ranks in dance sport. So I started as an amateur in the newcomer division. I just went through every level gradually, bronze, silver, gold, novice, pre-champ, championship, turned pro, competed Rising Star Pro, competed in the Open Pro, the championship level. So many years experience in this industry. And over those years, every single level that I progressed, the next level was exponentially more challenging than the previous level in two ways. Number one, I found that it was just harder to assimilate the new information. When you start out as, for example, a newcomer in your very first dance lesson, you walk in knowing diddly squats. You leave that first lesson and you literally know 5,000 times as much as you did 45 minutes ago, okay? Bad news bears, guys, that ain't gonna happen to the championship level. At that point, we are so parsing the technique down into not even inches of movement. I mean, practically microns, and it gets so challenging to grow. And so I find it can be difficult for many couples to maintain the partnership because they just get frustrated. It saddens me, but I have seen couples retire just because they feel burnt out. Like, gosh, we're working so hard and we're seeing, in terms of results and growth at the end of the year. Secondly, the way this manifests itself is as you progress up the ranks, the people you are competing against become more serious dancers. So when you're doing newcomer, you definitely will have, people just dipping their foot in the shallow end of the pool. They could have started dancing a month ago. Well, if you started dancing 3 months ago, oh my gosh, you've been dancing 3 times as long as them. And so that would be an easy win, relatively speaking, okay? So every year you kind of keep committed to dance sport. You're moving up those ranks very gradually. You're going to be on the floor up against whether it's, other prime dancers or other amateur couples, people that are that much more serious about their dancing. So by the time you get to championship level, there are no participants. No one stumbled into the championship level. They are all giving 100%, so by the time you get to that gold star prime level, you are on the floor with other prime dancers with very deep pockets, with a lot of time on their hands. Maybe they're retired, maybe they have a wealthy spouse. They are able to take a ton of lessons. They are able to take, fly somewhere, get amazing visiting coaching, fly their coach somewhere. I mean, I've seen it. So you are up against people who realistically, many of them are going to have more resources than you. And hey, props to them. I would want the best dancing and the most dancing for everyone, but we weren't, all born with a golden spoon in our mouth. And secondly, those people that are competing at those higher levels, no one just started yesterday. I don't know any pro who would start out like they're kind of newcomer students in a skill level that was too high for them. I've just personally never seen it, because you want to put them on a floor with other dancers who are commensurate with their skill level. That's just fair. You're not going to put a 10-year-old up against an Olympic sprinter. Just doesn't make sense. Okay. And you'll find the kind of the pace at which you grow, it's just going to slow down, friends. And you're going to work twice as hard to see just a little bitty amount of growth every year. And you're trying to outpace couples or dancers. Guess what? They are doing the same to try and get past you. Everyone is fighting their way to get to the top of what ultimately is going to be a glass ceiling, okay? Now, in terms of morale, friends, I suggest reminding yourself everyone ahead of you probably made fantastically unbelievable huge sacrifices to get where they are, okay? It didn't just happen yesterday for anyone. And unless they are number one in the world, there's someone else who they're chasing up the ranks, who they're like, oh, I wish I could just be them. As I like to say, no one remembers runner-up for Miss America. So even that number 2 couple in the world that you were like, oh my gosh, if only I could be them. You know what? They wish they could be someone else ahead of them too, guys. It is a moving target. And ultimately, the race is against yourself. And I know that's hard. I have a competitive spirit myself. Like, I just want to win everything. But the good news is if you stick with it, you will continue to grow. As I've shared in another video, if you lose your partner, don't worry. There are more options out there, whether you lose a prime teacher, whether you lose an amateur partner. The better you are, the more easily you're going to be able to find that next partner, okay? You're not going to start from scratch. And frankly, if you are a trained dancer, honestly, whether it's a lead or a follow, though in my opinion, it's easier if you're the lead, to take on someone with a heck of a lot less experience than you, and they will train up to your level much faster than you originally trained to that level, okay? So keep your eye on the long-term prize. Please get videos of your dancing. So you're not just comparing, an apple and an orange, and this orange has been ahead of you the whole time. Like, it can be very challenging, even if you are giving 110% to surpass them, which by the time you get to the top, all those helium balloons are up there, and there's only so much space for each of them to touch the ceiling, right? But if you compare your videos to say how you were dancing, 4 years ago, I highly suspect you'll be very pleasantly surprised with what you see. Obviously, we all want more, but don't let that keep you back from achieving the most success and the most beautiful dancing that you can. So anyway, guys, I look forward to seeing you first thing tomorrow morning with another Hot Ballroom Dance Chat. Okay, friends, and again, if you disagree with what I'm saying, you've had a different experience or a similar experience, please share in the comments, because I am but one person in the world of ballroom dancers, and I'm always interested to hear what you have to say. Even if it disagrees with me, I do not care. It's fascinating to me. I'm not here to win some argument. I'm just sharing my stories, and hopefully some of them might be helpful to someone out here. So anyway, guys, have a happy dancing day, and I'll see you first thing in the morning. Doodles.